Welcome. We are episode 4. Yep, last one was 3. 4. It was. I regret starting with 0. I can't count. Yeah. Thank you so much for all the listens. Welcome back, everybody. Hope you are enjoying your week so far. It's been a crazy week for both of us. We're just getting over a little bit of sickness.
Yeah, on the tail end. And we should also mention before we get too into this, we're on Apple Podcasts now.
Yeah.
We weren't before, and now we are.
We are. So, obviously, you'll hear that on our socials. But, yeah, you can listen to Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Again, we're working on getting on other platforms, but we're slow and we're busy. And I'm stupid. I don't know how things work. I don't know how these things work, but, hey, it's working somehow. But yeah, so today is going to be a concert related one. So I know this is something that a lot of listeners and folks who can relate to is that I think one of the part of the culture going back to our original talk was the idea of, you know, being a part of a concert specifically for pop punk, I think is a lot of fun. Especially when, I mean, obviously with the different bands that you listen to and enjoy, I always get a different vibe at pop punk concerts than I do with just some other regular bands I like, right? So I think today we're going to rank some of our different... Sorry, I keep putting it on you even though you're not talking.
That's okay.
We're going to talk about our favorite concerts that we've been to, specifically with pop punk, but then also we'll look at some other ones with the... Because, you know, having fun at a concert, right? It doesn't have to be just for pop punk. There's lots of other ones that exist out there.
I think the only reason for the most part we're keeping it to pop punk, like for the ranking system or whatever, is, you know, this is a pop punk show, so we do have to keep it in that line to an extent. But also, it's our show, so who cares?
We're gonna do what we want.
Yeah, we're gonna do whatever we want.
Okay.
I have a couple things written down here that I want to get into before we get into that, as per usual.
Yeah, buddy.
We'll obviously be asking, you know, like, what are you listening to? Like we've been doing in every episode so far. But I want to, first of all, I need to give a quick rest in peace to my favorite black pants that I've owned for, you know, however many years now. And I think every, you know, like scene kid, pop punk fan, goer, you know, just honestly, just person in general has their favorite pair of black pants in today's day.
Yeah.
This pair I'd had for, God, I don't know how long. Definitely like 3+ years.
Nice.
Driving home from work the other day, felt a little gust of wind in between my legs a little bit. Put my hand down there. There's a hole in my crotch. I don't know when it happened. And this was post me walking to the radio station, having a full shift at the radio station, and then walking back to my car. I don't know at what point my pants ripped. It could have been on the walk to the radio station, and then I spent my entire shift and then my entire walk back to my car with just this gust of wind and an incredible view below the belt.
Oh, God.
So I'm sorry to anybody who saw me on my walk, and ultimately rest in peace to my favorite black pants.
Big RIP to those. Pour one out for the homies.
Yeah, that was a really tough one to swallow.
Yeah, a lot of my pants are... I've got 2 new pairs of Lululemon pants. I mean, obviously, one of them is black, and they were the most comfortable pants I own.
100%. Are they the ABC pants?
Yes, they are.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they are. But yeah, no, it's like my favorite pair of jeans. Another pair of pants I had, you know, it's the Thunder thighs. They get them. They get to them too much. So
yeah, you know what? I think it's partially like, I know growing up, like, you played baseball. I've grown up like playing lacrosse and stuff. I think it's like when you grew up playing sports, like it's hard, like your lower body, like just kind of like it gets, did it again. You get thick, and it's so hard to find pants that fit correctly. Yeah. Is that just like an adult thing?
Well, like my waist size is like 34, 32.
Yeah, we're in the same.
It's weird. It's weird. I mean, even 34 is sometimes stretching it, but
we're 34s. Come on, we're 32s.
36 with a belt.
The other thing, well, I had a couple things written down that I wanted to get into. I wanted to shout out this video game that just got released. I played it on, I think it's just on PC. It's this game called Gray. It's this kind of horror, psychological thriller kind of game. And I played it the other day for the first time. I beat it. I was actually the first in the world to beat it. It's an indie game. Like, it's not like a huge game. But,
yeah.
the reason why like I was so eager to play it is because my cousin Mike, who is in the Discord, he listens to the show. He voices the main character.
That was the game you were playing, right?
Yeah. So I put in our Discord. This is another shout out for everyone to join our Discord because it's good hangs in there. But I just threw in the Discord, hey, I'm gonna be playing this game that my cousin is voicing the main character. I'm gonna stream it in Discord if you want to come hang out and watch or whatever. So Mike tagged along. He watched. It was a really fun game. I mean, it's legitimately scary. Like, it got some spooks out of me. Beat it in like a day and a half or whatever. I think I beat it the next morning. But go check it out on Steam. It's called Gray. It's only like $9 or something.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, really affordable game.
That's
and
cool.
you're into indie games. Like, it's right up your alley.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I don't like spooky games.
You can come on. You gotta play this
spooky.
Did you ever play PT?
No, I didn't have a place because it came out as a PlayStation thing at the time, right? I didn't have a PlayStation at the time, but I did go to people's houses who had it, so I'm aware of it. And no, just like I honestly think to this day it's still like the scariest thing that exists, like for something that you can play. Yeah, which is crazy, but
I still have it on my PlayStation.
Do you?
Because I know they after the whole Silent Hill thing got like canned, like the game got canceled. They removed PT from the store.
Correct.
So if you happen to delete it after you beat it, it doesn't exist to you anymore. But I never deleted it because of that purpose.
That thing's probably worth money.
You know,
check eBay for it.
My PS4 from 2015.
Yeah, could be. You
knows?
never know.
That's
funny.
Yeah, so go check out Gray if you're into those kind of games. I really enjoyed it, and it's a super affordable game. The last thing that I wrote down here that I wanted to get into before we talk about what we've been listening to lately. And I might be kind of putting myself into the line of fire here. I don't know if this is a controversial topic. Well, I know it's going to be a controversial topic. But
fantastic.
Taylor Swift has recently put out a new album. Obviously, I have it up here on my Spotify. Midnights.
Okay, yep.
Yeah, have you listened to it yet?
I listened to a little bit of it. I didn't listen to the full. Oh, I listened to the full thing, but I didn't like. It was just like a quick listen.
Yeah.
Through
Okay, so I've now listened to the full thing a handful of times. And to be honest, like I came into listening to it with the thought of like, where did all this Taylor Swift hype? Like, when did she become like the present day Beyonce? You know how when now or before, when anybody would say anything negative about Beyonce, you would have like a million people like.
Yeah, don't you dare compare Beyonce to Taylor Swift.
But
unbelievable.
Okay, I'm not saying that in terms of quality, but she's become like that person where as soon as Taylor Swift releases anything, and don't get me wrong, like I like Taylor Swift. We've talked about how like much we used to listen to Taylor Swift back in the day, but when did she become that person that as soon as anything comes out, like it's the number one thing, and if you say anything bad about Taylor Swift, like you're against us. Like
I think she's been like that for a while.
Am I just late to the party?
Well, no. I mean, so I think part of the reason why it was like she became so popular is because she started out country, right? And country's got a lot of fans, specific fans for that, and so build up that fan base with country music, and then expanding more into that pop phase. So she's already got a bunch of fans moving into like listening to that new version of it. So I mean, I remember when Red came out, and it was still huge. Like I went to the Red concert, and like. It was at BC Place. It was like almost sold out. So it's been like that for a while. But I mean, she definitely got a lot of flack with the recent album or the tour release rather.
Yeah. Because of the prices and stuff.
Fuck Ticketmaster.
Yeah. So, okay, maybe you can fill me in here because I don't really know. I just saw the prices were crazy and my head just immediately went to, wait, we just talked about this about the Blink stuff.
Yeah.
Like the astronomical prices.
Well, it's not just Blink-182. It's not just... Taylor Swift. It happened with Shania Twain as well. Usually these big artists that are coming, it's just getting worse with Ticketmaster. So they have the monopoly of all tickets. And because they have deals with UMG, Universal, and Sony, which are basically like the only people who own all the record labels, that's where the deal goes. If you're going to do your concert or whatever, you're just going through Ticketmaster because they have that. So the issue is that because they have that monopoly on it, there's resellers that will automatically like purchase and scalp using bots. So you know the whole bot thing, how that works?
Not exactly.
So it's not just with tickets, it's with other things like shoes and clothes and things like that. So essentially what I can do is if a new shoe release is coming out or a new clothing release is coming out, I can buy bots. And basically what those bots do and what this tool does is it will automatically add whatever thing that I want to buy, however many, to the cart, and just quickly purchase it in a large amount. It's kind of the dumbed down version of it.
Yeah.
But it does it so insanely quick, you do it faster than somebody who's trying to add it normally.
Yeah.
So the thing is, when you try to go get that new sneaker drop, or you try to go buy that new clothing item or whatever that you goes on sale at 7 a.m. and then for some at 7:01 it's out of stock.
Yeah.
It's because of bots and scalpers and resellers. So the same thing goes for tickets. Resellers will automatic or use that same idea to purchase a large quantity of tickets, but they will resell them through Ticketmaster.
Oh.
So that is the verified resale ones.
Yeah.
And that is where the skyrocketing price comes from, is because they're reselling through Ticketmaster. Ticketmaster is okay with it because they're getting a cut.
Yeah.
So this got so bad for Taylor Swift is because they underestimated the amount of ticket sales that they had. So it started with a pre-sale.
Yeah.
The pre-sale was, again, just you get a pre-sale code, or you're with a certain, you just get something, pre-sale code, right? And all of them are going to be scalpers. Majority of them are going to probably be scalpers. So, or other individuals who want to try to purchase. So because they purchased so much for the pre-sale date, that's why the tickets got up to like $28,000 for a single ticket to buy that. Yeah. So it got so bad, Ticketmaster put out a statement saying that we overestimated or underestimated the amount of people who would purchase these tickets. And because of that, you'd think they'd try to make it right for people who didn't get their tickets. They're like, we're just going to stop the general sale. We've got our money. Fuck you. That's it.
What?
Yeah. So they just know there's no more general sale.
So the only option for people now is to buy these.
Yep.
Astronomically priced.
Yep.
Oh my God.
And that's the same thing with Blink. It's just they're not as high, but so it's a huge problem, and it's even gotten so much that people are calling for like the I don't know if it's the FCC, but at least the government to step in. Yeah. Because they have a monopoly. Like I remember going to Blue Line Sports. Yeah. To go purchase tickets for concerts. Yeah. And that's how we would buy them in for pop punk.
The one in Haney Place.
Yeah, the one in Haney Place. Yeah. So that's where we would buy the tickets, right? And
I have to cough 1 sec. I'm so sorry.
Move away from the mic to breathe in.
Of course.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't find it, but there it looks like there is some sort of investigation opening up, and it's because they just have this huge monopoly on it, which just fucking blows. Because like
wild.
They just charge whatever fees they want, right? You know, when you buy a ticket on Ticketmaster, it's like, okay, the ticket's $50, but the service fee is $10. The convenience fee is $7. So you're really paying like 25% more for a ticket, which is just so fucking dumb.
Yeah.
I'm done with it. So that being said, one of the other things that's really great about smaller concerts and pop punk and stuff like that is that you don't have to buy them through Ticketmaster.
Yeah.
You just buy them from the venue. You just buy them from their website.
Yeah, directly from the band.
Directly from the band. So that's one of the other reasons why I like smaller venue concerts. It's because, number one, you don't have to give Ticketmaster their fucking money, and you get a better connection. Like, you just have a smaller venue. It's more intimate, and you just have a lot more fun.
Yeah, I don't remember if we talked about this on the last episode or whatever, in regards to the Blink prices, because I said I can't justify paying that much to go and see Blink as much as I want to go and see them. And I mean, I said to some people as well, maybe I said it to my brother, that if The Story So Far was one of the bands that was opening here, because they're not, it's Turnstile is one of them, but The Story So Far is doing some of the Europe shows, or I believe that's how it was working. I'd be a little bit more inclined to spend like the close to $400, but I just can't. I went to see Coldplay when I was in grade 11, in 2011, at Rogers Arena for $160 per ticket. Yeah. I said, even though that was an incredible, I'll talk about that experience later, actually, because it was an unbelievable turn of events. But I said after that, I will never spend that much on a ticket ever again. And I haven't, and I don't plan to, because I don't really think going to see a band for that much money is really worth it. No. Especially when, like, my ideal venue here in Vancouver is like the Vogue or the Commodore or something like that. And you're pretty much never going to spend more than $60 for a ticket to go see a band there. Yeah. That's perfect for me. That's ideal. I love that size of a venue.
Mm-hmm.
That's my price point, you know?
Agree.
Yeah. So I know this is a super long tangent. Originally, I wanted to talk about Taylor Swift because I went into her new album thinking like, okay, like I get it. She's a huge star, like new album, like all this kind of stuff. But like, I don't think she's like that great. Like what? And then, you know, like I listened to the album and I actually enjoyed it more than I was expecting to. So maybe I get the hype a little bit, but I just like, I don't know when, to me, she's become like that same, I'm not comparing her to Beyonce.
Yeah.
but she's become that kind of figure where, you know, like if anybody ever says anything negative about Beyonce, they're like, don't you ever say anything negative about her. And I think it's kind of become the same thing with Taylor Swift. And like, do you notice how as soon as I started talking about this, you were like, don't you dare compare Taylor Swift to Beyonce.
I feel like that's just a meme at this point. Like, I honestly don't give a shit. Like, we have somebody that we work with who's like Beyonce stan. And I mean, I get it. Like, there's fans for sure, and there's super fans. But going back to it, because when was the last time you heard a Taylor Swift song on the radio? Do you listen to the radio?
I don't listen to it, which is bad. I'm in the radio industry. Like, I don't listen to FM radio.
Okay, well, even still, like the FM radio, like any one of her newer songs, even from her last 3 albums, I don't think any of them have made it. And I'm curious to look at Top 40 radio to see what's on there, but she's not. I'm pretty sure she's not.
I wonder if that like the latest single, what's it called, from this newest album, which is I'm the problem.
Yeah.
I wonder if that one's on like the top.
It might be. Yeah, it could be. That one's
because that one's all over TikTok.
All over TikTok. Yeah. So well, I think it was a lot because I mean her story of going through the record label and things like that, and the record label owning all of her tunes. Her recreating the albums and things like that. So I think these albums, most recent ones, are released for her, not for, you know, the record company demands that they need this amount of songs. So I feel like that's why a lot of like, and she, you know, she's been open about like mental health struggles and even eating disorders and things like that. So again, people relate to that. And
yeah, fair enough. I just thought it was so funny when I went to go listen to this. I almost like kind of went to hate listen this album because I was I don't get the hype. Like I don't get it. And I listened to it and the first like Anti-Hero, that's the song that I was thinking of. That was probably the single or whatever. But so the first 4 songs, I was like, when I was listening to it on my way to work, I was my thought was, yeah, I don't think this is that good. And I actually don't really like that song Anti-Hero. From song number 5, You're on Your Own Kid, and onward, I was like, I get it. I'm here now. The song Midnight Rain slaps. Yeah. Phenomenal album. Yeah. I'm into it, Taylor. I'm into it.
I was saying to Ben, like, it's at my first listen, I felt like it was like, this is a good background music album. Yeah. For just like chilling around the house or whatever. Just like think about it. But I'll give it another listen.
Yeah. Okay, so that was a fun little tangent. And let's wrap it up, as we always do, with Colton. What are you listening to right now?
So what am I listening to right now? Tool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Yeah. Why? Do you have a reason, or you just stumbled on it?
I stumbled on it. Showed up in like a Discover Weekly. So again, always just looking for some new jams. Like the album. I don't even know how to say Anima. It's like the AE weird symbol. But the song 46 and 2 is just real good. So I've added it to the gym playlist. We were just talking about Bon Iver earlier today, so I've just been cranking some of the 22 a million, and that one's a good one. I've also, I'm gonna keep this quiet because Ben's in the other room. She can hear. I've just been figuring out what's some good wedding music.
Oh, yeah.
Some good wedding music to listen to.
Wow, throw some suggestions.
First dance songs, right? It's an important.
A lot of pressure there.
So here's the thing. So with our, wedding that's coming up and everything, I'm the one thing that is like I'm gonna stress over is the music.
That's such a you thing.
Oh, it is. It's ridiculous. Like there's some things that I will not budge on.
Such as?
Well, a lot of people get wedding DJs, right? And I went to this one wedding where the songs were the typical like top 40 dance, the classic like Bruno Mars songs, but they were all remixes and they were all pitched like tempo down. Oh. So like the songs that you usually like, they're slower.
Okay.
You can't dance to that. It's fucking garbage. It was still fun, of course, but like, if we do a wedding DJ, like serious conversation, like think of all the top 40 music that you listen to on the radio or that's usually played at weddings, and delete them off your fucking playlist. And do not play these songs at my wedding. I'm almost at the, like, again, this is gonna be a while away, but like, I would rather just throw the Spotify on shuffle with the songs that I've curated and save some money that way.
This is something that I can say, this might be the most confident take I've ever had in my life.
Okay.
And I mean this in a compliment
towards
you and Van. I can confidently say that you two will have the best music at your guys' wedding. I am so confident about that. So if you're gonna, whatever you would tell the DJ, I think you're right in saying whatever it is that you're gonna say.
It's brutal, and that's like, I mean, that's one of the things I do take pride in, is being very anal about, like, the music needs to fit the mood.
Totally, yeah.
Needs to fit the mood, and when it doesn't fit the mood, I immediately notice it, and I'm just like, I hate it. It's so bad. It's so bad.
This might actually be. I mean, we've been in almost every episode so far. We've like given a shout out to someone that we've found on TikTok or whatever, like someone musically related. And this this like jogged my memory of someone that I saw. I believe her name is Taylor Acorn, if I remember correctly. I might have sent you some of her stuff before, but she takes like she's had a handful of TikToks go, like, I don't know, viral is the right way to put it or whatever. But I know she did one where it was, she redid First Date by Blink-182 as a wedding song.
Oh, acoustic. Oh.
Yeah, so it sounds like really nice and pleasant. And maybe we can throw it up on the screen in the video version or in the audio one as well.
Okay, so do you guys remember the song that goes like this? Let's go, don't wait. What if it was a really pretty wedding song? Let's go, don't wait. This night's almost over. Honest, let's make this night last forever, forever and ever. Let's make this last forever.
But yeah, just this very nice, mostly piano and vocals version of First Date by Blink. And then I think she's done the same thing for a handful of other pop punk songs as well, where she's kind of made them like wedding versions.
Yeah. Adding that to the playlist.
There you go.
Also, totally reminded me as well. So my cousin Kale, he's got a little cute little baby.
Little guy.
He sent me this album that there's nursery rhyme versions of pop punk songs.
Oh,
Motion City soundtrack.
Is it Sparrow rhyme. Something? Sparrow sings, Sparrow sleeps.
Here, I'll find it.
Yeah, something like that. I don't remember. Like, me and him have talked about this before. I don't remember if I sent it to him or he sent it to me or what. Yeah. I might have gotten it from him. But yeah, incredible. I told Jen about that forever ago. I was like, our child will be falling asleep to.
Absolutely. That's so cool.
To Sleeping with Sirens, just so you know.
Yeah. Okay, I can't find it, but it's out here somewhere, which is so cool. So yeah, that Bon Iver, like just typical like wedding songs or whatever, more like slow acoustic songs, and then a lot of old school hip hop.
Are you talking about what you've been listening to, or what's going to be on the wedding?
No, what I'm listening to right now.
Okay.
Yeah, what I'm listening to right now. Things like Tribe, Wu-Tang, Souls of Mischief, Nas.
So diverse.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
It's good
you got
stuff.
me into Nas.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Nice.
Back when we were doing our previous version of the podcast, we did like our music club thing when we would give each other an album.
Yeah. I still love that. That's a good idea.
I still have one of his albums.
Nice.
Saved on my Spotify from way back then.
Good shit.
Stuff. Yeah.
Good shit. How about you?
Yeah. So
what you rocking?
I've been honestly like not really listening to a ton. However, I will say I'm still so fired up that on the last episode you brought up Aaron West and the Roaring Twenties.
Oh yeah,
because that's what I've been like spam listening to
right on
nonstop. Both the albums. He's got a couple singles as well, as you're aware. But
yeah,
the song from his first album, "We Don't Have Each Other." The first song on the album is called "Our Apartment," and the amount of people that I sent that to throughout the week, like I sent it to my dad.
Yeah,
I sent it. Me and my friend Gabby send music to each other a whole bunch. Like whenever she finds something and I'll find something, we'll send music to each other. I sent it to Jen, obviously. Like I've been listening to both of the albums in general a ton, but
Mm-hmm.
that song is one that I'll finish the album, or I'll finish an album and then I'll go back and listen to that song like 2 more times and then move on to the next album, and then I'll halfway through I'll go back to that song and listen to it again. I've been so hooked. I'm so glad you reminded me.
Yeah.
West and the
That's
Roaring
good.
20s.
And speaking of which, just from last episode, right? You mentioned Slaughter Beach Dog, and I texted you after because I listened to them and I was like, oh, I have like a bunch of their songs in my leg. I had no idea. So like the Acolyte song, like that's in the wedding. Song.
That
is a good song.
Yeah.
It's good. So yeah, love Slaughter Beach Dog. Didn't know about it.
Yeah,
love
we
them.
do. Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Okay, should we hop into the bulk of the show here?
The concerts.
The concerts. So I think what we're gonna be doing is maybe sort of like what we did with last episode. We'll go back and forth so that we each get a little bit of time to think in between. And then we'll rank, let's say, our top 5 favorite pop punk concerts that we've seen or that we've been to. Or maybe just name them in any order, and then at the end maybe we can rank them afterwards.
Yeah,
so
I don't have the brain capacity to do that.
Yeah,
at the
so
same time.
and I'm sure like that's what I mean, being able to go back and forth. It gives you time, because I'm sure that once we start going, you might think of one and be like, oh yeah, I forgot I went and saw them and how good of a show that was.
Yeah,
let's get ours out on the table, and then afterwards we'll rank them, and then afterwards we can give some shout outs to some of the non-pop punk concerts that we've seen of shows that, you know, play some influence or hold some real estate in our brain.
Yeah.
Do you want to go first?
Yeah. Okay. So funny thing is, so the majority of the concerts that I went to is in, obviously the pop punk concerts I went to were in like the mid 2000s to early 2010s.
Okay.
Right? Makes sense. Problem is, I remember in grade 8 going to see Boys Like Girls.
Yeah.
And what do you do when you're at a concert? You usually take a video or take a photo. I didn't have an iPhone in 2007, 2008. I had a flip phone Motorola Razr.
Yeah, you did.
I didn't have a phone that was a good camera. I had a digital camera. Dating myself. So I'm just saying there's a chunk of time that we have lived where the only photographic evidence of it is either in the old memory of your old phone or like some thrown away memory stick, some thumb drive. So the majority of the concert photos and things I have are like somewhere in there, like in the old iPhotos library. But going back to when I think my first kind of pop punk concert was Boys Like Girls. And they had been, who opened for them was All Time Low and Motion City Soundtrack. That was the concert where I told you that, like, oh, I just got to reintroduced to Motion City. This is just soundtrack.
Motion
Shitty. And you know, the Capital H song and things like that. And then one of the other bands that was going to open for them was The Format, but they didn't make it over the border, or their gear didn't make it over the border. So afterwards, they actually played an acoustic show, like on this like street, whatever it was. So that was cool. So I think just being the first one, like, it was a really memorable one. I got a photo with the drummer, I think, and so that was cool. I enjoyed that one, and that was 2007, 2008, I want to say.
Cool. Okay. Mine, I'm going to go to my first concert ever as well. That's where my brain was going to go, which was in 2005. My dad got my brother and I tickets to go see Sum 41. I've seen them twice. Yeah. That was my first time going to see them. My first concert
That
ever.
was your first concert ever?
Yeah, it was Sum 41 at the Pacific Coliseum.
That's legit.
And it's so funny. Like, people that know my dad, they've heard this phrase before. But you know, like when you walk up to a concert and you can start to smell weed, from people smoking the lineup and stuff like that. Can. Anytime my dad smells that, my dad loves the smell of it, and he always goes, "Sweet stanky weed," and that was the first time I ever heard him say that, and now I've heard it like an infinite amount of times. Yeah. But I just remember the whole experience because it's 2005 at that. I don't know. I forget how old you are in grade 5, but I had never been to anything like that before. I don't even think I'd been to a Canucks game at that point. So I'd never really been to anything with that big of a crowd before. Yeah. So to get that whole experience for the first time of walking up, you're kind of like shimmying between people. I'm trying to hang on to my dad's coat because I'm nervous and scared. You get this smell that at the time I'd never smelled before. Like, what is going on here? Why are people acting so crazy? Why does it smell like skunk cabbage, Dad? Yeah. And Sum 41 put on an awesome show. They played this video as they came out onto the stage, I think you can still find it if you look on YouTube, but it was this video of it eventually ended with the drummer. His name was Steve-O, I think. It was like this big skit, but he loses to the bass player in a pickup basketball game, and then because he's mad, he beats up, kills, and cooks the bass player, and then serves him for dinner to the singer and the guitar player.
That's memorable.
And then at the end of the video, they all, like come out and start playing or whatever. It kind of transitioned to them coming onto stage. But
I see.
Do you remember the band Seether? Like, does that name ring a bell to you at all?
Seether.
Yeah. No?
I don't know.
Okay, so honestly, like I don't really remember them musically. They opened for Sum 41 at that show, but at the end of the show, members of their band were out handing out these, they almost look like credit cards worth of, or like credit card sized, I'm doing an awful job of describing this. It was these cards that had pop out guitar picks.
Oh, cool.
Of like these custom Seether guitar picks.
Oh, sweet.
And so my brother and I, we each got like a handful of these cards. So we had like an endless number of these picks.
Nice.
I have one left still to this day.
Oh,
and
really?
It's my favorite pick. It's like, it's
cool.
the perfect softness, has the perfect amount of flex for me and stuff. So shout out Seether. I don't know if you guys still make music or not, but your guys' picks are awesome.
That's awesome.
So Sum 41, that's my first on the list.
I'm literally going back in my Facebook photos because that's the one that, like, the social media that I just don't use.
That's what I was gonna say when you were talking about some of these pictures and videos. They live like on old SD cards.
Yeah,
I was gonna say they're probably on Facebook.
Or they live on
somewhere.
Facebook. Yeah. So that's crazy. That's your first concert. My first concert was Rain as the Beatles. Which was still cool because, like, it was the Beatles. It was sweet.
Yeah, that was the cool. My dad is very like pro music, pro experience, pro. So like, I don't know. I don't think really any of my friends at that age were going to concerts.
Yeah.
And my dad got us Sum 41 tickets.
Yeah.
It was so cool.
That's really cool. I think one of the next concerts, looking at my Facebook chronological order here, 2008 of October, I went to go see Hit the Lights.
Oh, okay.
So I saw Hit the Lights, and I don't remember who opened for them. I also don't remember where it was. I also remember being introduced to Say Anything at that time, listening to Say Anything on the way over there.
Yeah.
That was a great song because I know that the song Wow, I Can Get Sexual Too was popular around that time with scene kids and the emo kids. That was a lot of fun. They put on a really good show. They were really awesome. Nick signed my Hit the Lights hoodie with a Ninja Turtle. It was sweet. That was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Cool. 2008, Hit the Lights.
2008, yeah.
And you've had some contact, you said, with, was it Nick from Hit the Lights?
Yeah. He posted in the subreddit, Pop Punkers, and like he's got a side project, which I talked about, Thief Club. And it's good stuff, man. I really liked his voice. He just hits the notes real well.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it's good stuff. It's hard. It's emotional, but it's awesome. I really enjoy listening to it. So shout out Nick, Thief Club, Hit the Lights. Good stuff.
Cool. Okay, next up on my list, I'm gonna go with a classic. I'm gonna go with All Time Low.
Yeah.
Who I've seen a handful. I think I've seen like 3 or 4 times. Almost every time has been at the Vogue.
Yep.
The one that stands out in my mind the brightest, I guess, is the first time that I saw them at the Vogue, and that's it was the first time I had seen them, so that was really cool, and that was for me in peak All Time Low days. That was in like 2011, 2010, something like that, or around that time. So that was in like the peak of my fandom of All Time Low, and the reason why that was such a cool show for me was, at the end of the show, they do their encores. They played Dear Maria like they always do. I got to see them do the guitar throw live.
Oh, yes. Yeah. It was so
sick.
Cool. I remember that.
But the coolest part for me was immediately after the show, they're doing, they have a whole crew that does their teardown stuff for them. But they were doing a little bit of it themselves. And Alex, the lead singer, is... He has the set list taped down on the stage for him to be able to look at whatever. At the end of the show, when they're tearing down, he peels it off, puts it into, like, crumbles it into a ball and throws it into the crowd, and it perfectly lands in my hand.
Oh, nice.
It's like it just floated into my hand. And when he first threw it, like, we didn't know what it was. I'm there with like my brother's there, my friend Gabby, our friend Laura. Like I think there was a few of us there.
Yeah.
And all of us were just like totally rattled. This thing, like my arms were just in the air because I was just excited and cheering, and it just landed in my hand, and I closed it.
Sick.
That was it. And then so afterwards, we get outside and get some air, and I think Laura was the one that was able to. She was the one that was able to carefully undo it because I was too afraid to rip it. This thing is taped together. It just looked like a ball of black hockey tape. Yeah. And she unpeels it, and I still have it to this day. Actually, it was their set list. They had the date on there wrong, so that's why I think if I ever showed it to anybody, they would think that I'm lying because it said August 16th on it instead of the 15th. Right. But fuck you guys, it's real. Yeah. And I still have it. And it made that experience, that already really fun and cool experience of me seeing All Time Low for the first time. This like unforgettable experience because now this part of the stage just landed in my hand.
That's one of the coolest things, right? When I always give the drumsticks and stuff.
Yeah, so cool.
So I've got 2 things from concerts. I've actually got a pick signed by, I guess, the lead singer of Boys Like Girls. Yeah. And me and Ben recently went to Alt J. Yeah. And we got their set list. And he threw it. So he threw it. And there wasn't a lot of people going for it. I guess not a lot of people saw it. Yeah. And I was like, I'm going to go for this. So I opened it up. Hold on, I have it here.
Oh. Live on the show. Yeah, live on the show. Okay, so a little bit play-by-play for people that aren't watching. He's getting up and going to the bookshelf. And now this looks like what my set list icon looks like.
Yeah, I don't think they put a lot of artistic creativity into it.
Yeah, fair.
But what was wrapped inside the set list?
No way. No way.
Yeah. There's a little it's a guitar pick. So it's cool because it's like a shiny foil with I guess the name of the pick, but also the delta symbol, which they use a lot. So
very cool.
Yeah, both of that was wrapped in together, which was awesome. So
wow.
Like, oh shit, yeah.
Very cool.
So they had a good set list. Love all.
That's a long set list.
Yeah,
too.
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. So we've seen them twice. So your next one was All Time Low.
Yeah.
My next one was also going to be All Time Low.
Oh.
Don't remember when or whichever ones I've seen them. I do remember I love seeing them live. I do have this one terrible experience though. With an All Time Low show. And it was with Kale and it was with the merch table. Got scammed out of $5 or $10.
From the person at the
the person at the merch table. Piece of shit.
No.
Guy has a wad of it's a classic scammer trick. He's got a wad of cash in his hand. Pay the $20-something for the shirts or the $40 for some of the shirts. Takes the cash, puts it on top, then recounts it. And it's like you're $5 short.
No.
Yeah. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? We gave you the money. He's like, you're $5 short. Either cough up, take your money and get the fuck out of here. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? So we gave him the extra $1. And then Kale turns around and he's like, hey, this guy's a fucking scammer.
Yeah, good for him.
Don't buy from him. Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah. Oh, it was bullshit. That guy was such a fucking prick.
Wow.
Yeah. But everything else is great.
The show itself was good.
The show itself was always great.
Did you get to see them do the guitar throw thing?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
You know what? I think that might have been the same time as, and I wish I did my research into this, but the same time where we also saw the worst performance we've ever seen. So very bottom of the list of the worst concert, I think they were opening was Metro Station.
No way.
Metro Station. Literally, I liked them because obviously you're a scene emo kid listening to their whole Metro Station album. I listened to it. I saw them live, and I never listened to them again.
Really? That is because they were that bad.
They were so bad, so bad.
This jogged my memory of something, and I meant to text you this a few weeks ago, because you and I have seen a couple shows together, and one of the shows that we saw together was at the Commodore Ballroom.
Frank Turner, baby.
Frank Turner. I was actually going to talk about that later as one of my favorite shows that I've seen outside of the genre.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you remember the opener?
The Cuckoo Kangaroos.
The Cuckoo Kangaroos. Do you remember? I think I still have the screenshot of this.
Yes.
Maybe we can throw this. Do you remember what you texted me during the show?
Yes.
Are we allowed to say it?
Yeah, no, it was not a tasteful joke, but it was pretty funny. It was a weird, to be fair, you're expecting Frank Turner. Mm-hmm. If you haven't listened to Frank Turner, go listen to Tape Deck Heart. Fantastic album. So good. Yeah. He really blew up and then just kind of didn't after that. But all his music's really good. So we all went to go listen to Tape Deck Heart. It was that tour. It was super good, right? We're kind of like there's an opener, right? Who's it gonna be? And it was like this children's band.
It was like what are those guys that wear the different colored shirts?
The Wiggles?
The Wiggles. It was like the Wiggles, but they were all gold.
Yeah, it was really weird. I did not vibe with it at all. I hated it.
Yeah.
And I texted you, I was like, I wish somebody would put a roofie in my drink so I could forget about this night. It was just terrible, tasteless joke, I know, but at the time, you know.
I've still had this screen. It popped up in my memories or whatever,
did it?
like a month ago or something. I was going to send it to you and be like, hey, remember this? But
Yeah.
I remember them. It was literally just two guys in gold shirts.
Jumping around, doing dumb
They had
shit.
backpacks on. They were like, one of their songs was talking about like an alligator chomping or something. So they were walking on the stage doing like that, the teeth thing with their arms going back and forth. It was, and everybody in the crowd was in this, I think was kind of in the same mindset of like, what's going on here?
Yeah. Like,
are we at the right show?
Do I have to participate in this? Like, should I?
And I remember Frank Turner actually saying something while he was on. He was like, yeah, give it up for the Cuckoo Kangaroos. I love those guys. And I just remember thinking, is this a bit? Like,
yeah,
is he
right.
fucking with us?
Fuck, I did not enjoy it.
Yeah. We can talk more about that show later though. Because
Yeah.
that was a really cool show.
Yeah.
Okay, so you did All Time Low as well.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so my next one that I'm gonna go to is A Day to Remember.
Nice.
I've seen them twice. We saw them open for Blink.
Yep.
In Abbotsford a few years ago. But I saw them for the first time at the Vogue, of course, at the Vogue, where I see all my shows. But I saw them with our mutual friend Ty.
Yeah.
And for me, so I think this was in their Common Courtesy era, which was one of their big albums, or it might have been just before that. Actually, I think it was just before that. But that show was so cool to me. The whole day leading. So the night before, I was at this house party. The next day, I was the most hungover I've ever been in my entire life, to the point where, the show starts at like, I don't know, 7 or 8 or something. I'm still in bed at 5 p.m. and I'm on the verge of texting Ty saying, I don't think I can go.
Damn.
Like, I'm so hungover.
You went hard.
Yeah, it was horrendous. And I think I did text Ty saying that, and he convinced me to get out of bed and go. And I'm so glad that he did, because the show itself was so good. Anybody that's seen A Day to Remember, they usually do something with like an inflatable ball or an inflatable pool floaty where they'll throw it onto the crowd, and then the lead singer, Jeremy, will jump onto the floaty, and he's crowd surfing in this floaty that's surfing on top of all the people. And it's so cool. And I just remember, and Pierce the Veil opened for them too, which was really cool. Damn. That was my first and only time seeing them live, and they were really good. But I just remember right before the last song of their encore, and I don't remember what the song was, but I remember Jeremy, the lead singer, screaming into the mic, "Get your money's worth." And me and Ty were at the back, and as soon as I heard that, I was so amped and just forced my way to the front and was just jumping with the crowd. Like the whole building felt like it was vibrating through my body. And it ended up just being one of the best experiences of my life. I had to go to work the next day. I was the most tired I think I've ever been, or at least had ever been at the time. Yeah. But yeah, A Day to, and then like I said, they opened for Blink, who we saw that show a handful of years ago. And even though they were an opener, they put on a great show.
Oh, they did.
They still did that inflatable thing this time. I think it was with one of the big inflatable hamster balls, I think. Yep. Go and run out onto the crowd. And
I do remember that.
Yeah, great show. A Day to Remember. They've fallen off a little bit in present day. Their present day stuff isn't my favorite necessarily, but that era of A Day to Remember and how good of a show they put on. If you get a chance to see them live, I would strongly recommend it.
Nice. Yeah. So I'm just gonna think of like all the other different bands. I'm just gonna kind of rattle off because those are really the big ones that stick out. Obviously, like Motion City Soundtrack. I've seen All American Rejects a handful of times, but a lot of them were just like just kind of one-off concerts. It's tough to remember those specifically. I really wish I had photos of them or have a timeline or something. But around that time is like the later 2010s is when I started listening to Dawes a lot.
Ooh.
And those guys primarily became the concerts that I would primarily go to with the fam, because like they're still one of my favorite bands. They're just awesome. Not punk at all. Not punk.
Shout out to Kale, because he's the one who showed.
Yeah.
I don't know if he showed you them, but he showed me them, and that was part of when we were working at Swanee Set together. Yeah. That was part of like. You talked about on episode 1 about how you were like, you listen to Blink, I listen to Blink. And Dawes was one of those bands that like, you listen to Dawes, I listen to Dawes. And that just like blossomed our friendship.
They were so good. So good. And still are. And those are the best concerts that I feel, because number one, they're super talented musically. And they just put on such a good show. Now, I'm trying to think of specific other pop punk bands that I've listened to, and I know I'm probably forgetting some other ones, but I'd say one more in the alternative verse. I've seen Foles live, who put on a great show. I think Foles was the loudest concert I've ever been to.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely, and that was a lot of fun. I've seen Young the Giant, who I very much enjoy. I'm really struggling right now to figure out these.
Do you want me to go? I have.
Yeah, you go.
Yeah, sure. And then maybe after this, we can start to like rank the ones that we've named or whatever. Okay, then the last one, I have a hand, and I said to you off air as well, but you cannot forget about DJ Spider, because obviously an instant classic. He was the first opener as people were entering the building.
Of course,
when we saw Blink and Day to Remember. So shout out DJ Spider. People forget about him all the time. The next one, or my last one, I guess, that I'll name is Neck Deep.
Oh, yeah.
And I said on the last episode that Neck Deep is one of my present day favorite bands. I listen to them a ton. I went to go see them. I've mentioned my friend Gabby a few times in this episode. Me and her went to go see them. I don't even know how long, probably 5 years ago now or something like that. And funny story, actually. We got the tickets in the summer. This was a show around Christmas time. We got tickets in the summer leading up to that winter.
Yeah.
And we got pre-sale tickets, which means we got to go watch their sound check, do like a photo thing with them, and be a part of like a Q&A with them and stuff. So we got those tickets in the summer. Dom, my brother, shortly after that, as like a gift for me, maybe it was like a Christmas present or it might have been like a birthday present or something. Dom was like, oh, I'm going to get you Neck Deep tickets for you and some of your friends. But he didn't like tell me beforehand. That's just what his thought process was. So he buys me these tickets, and I have to say to him afterwards, like, oh my God, thank you. I already bought tickets. And not only that, I bought better tickets than what you.
Oh, no.
Because I got these pre-sale, like I get to go to sound check and stuff. And Dom was like, oh, okay, no, I'll just find other people to go or whatever. I'm pretty sure Dom ended up working that night, and he couldn't find people to take the tickets.
Oh no.
So Dom just bought like 4 of these tickets, and I mean, bless his heart, because it was such a thoughtful gift.
Yeah.
But I think they ended up not being used, unfortunately.
Too bad.
That show, Neck Deep is one of those bands for me where I know every single one of their lyrics.
Yeah.
And for me, and I think I can probably speak on behalf of most people, when you're at those shows, when you know all the lyrics, they're way more fun, because you're that much more engaged. You're jumping around, you're singing along, like you're screaming your heart out. That was one of those shows for me.
Yeah. Where
some guy in front of me, like, I don't know. This could be taken as like a passive aggressive petty thing or whatever. I think it was more of a joke. He like turned around at one point and he's like, wow, you know all the words, huh? Yup. But Neck Deep is my last one. I think they're one of my favorite bands of present day, and I think they put on one of the best shows.
Yeah, no, that's good. Okay, I just searched some like bands. I'm just gonna rifle off.
Let's hear them.
Ones that I've seen and I enjoyed. So I've seen We the Kings before. I enjoyed them. They were really fun.
Nice.
Yeah. Motion, obviously. The Wonder Years. Hello.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
With Chief State.
Hell
yeah.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Doesn't really count, but no, I'm not going to say it. Just Family Force 5. They're not really pop punk, but they're a great band. Billy Talent.
Oh, you saw them.
I saw them at Pemberton.
Whoa.
And it was crazy. It was a lot of fun. It was awesome. Hey Monday. Seen them. Great. Shout out Cassidy Pope, which is cool. I have not seen the Audition, even though I have. Valencia, I've seen live. They're really awesome. Cobra Starship, technically, yes, I have seen them. They're American Rejects I've seen. I haven't seen Paramore.
Neither have I.
Crazy.
Yeah, they'd be a cool. And I've always said as well, Weezer is another one of those bands that I want to see before they retire. I don't know if I'll ever get the opportunity to, but yeah, Paramore is one of those bands too. I think.
And I haven't seen Green Day.
That's shocking to me.
I know. I just missed out on the concert. So the thing you were talking about before, where it's like when you know the lyrics, know the songs, it's that much better.
Yeah.
It was tough for me because that's how I got introduced to the bands. Is I would first hear them when they opened for something. I'm like, oh, I like them. Then I'll buy a CD, fall in love with them, and then like have to wait 2 years to go see them again. That's how I got introduced to most of the bands.
Yeah.
But still, it's still a good time.
Should we give a little love to some of the non-pop punk shows then as well?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm glad you brought up Dawes.
Yeah.
How many times have you seen them?
At least about 10 times.
Okay. Wow.
About 10 times. I would say, yeah.
That's funny in like an interest, not in like a bad way, but because there's a lot of bands like I don't think I would go to see Blink 10 times.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but I can see the argument to go and see Dawes that many times because they're such, not to say the guys in Blink aren't, but go and watch a live Dawes video. They're so talented.
Yeah.
And the harmonies that they can put on and certain bands as well. I mean, we've talked about this. I mean, you just talked about this with Metro Station. Like their stuff in studio compared to their stuff live isn't even comparable.
Yeah.
Dawes is one of those bands where somehow they sound better when they're live than their studio stuff. And
but it's not their studio stuff isn't bad.
No, not to say their studio
amazing.
stuff is bad at all. Just that's how good they are live.
Yeah.
I've seen them once. They opened for Kings of Leon at Rogers.
Sweet.
And, you know, like I'm not the biggest Kings of Leon fan. I don't dislike them, but my dad got me and my brother Dom tickets to go see those guys. I mostly just wanted to see Dawes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there was an opening band. Dawes was also opening for Kings of Leon, and Kings of Leon put on a good show, but I was there to see Dawes.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that's the only time I've seen them. That they put on such a good show.
Yeah.
You know?
They definitely do. So yeah, still one of the best ones that I consistently good. But I'd say hands down the best concert I've ever been to, just flat out, is Vampire Weekend.
Yeah? Why? What about it?
It was long. They played a lot of good songs, and it was so good. I don't know. Everything about it was just so good. Like, that's Ben's favorite band is Vampire Weekend.
Very cool.
And I had never seen them live before, but just like each one of their songs was so good. So their newest album, right? The song Sunflower. You ever heard of it?
I don't think so.
Okay. It's super good. It's a shorter song, but when they played it live, they made it probably about a 10-minute song.
Wow.
And the guy that they had come up play with them, I'll shout him out. His name is Brian Robert Jones. He is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
He's made a song that went completely really, really viral on TikTok. It's like it's about poop shit. He's singing about poop. It's really funny.
I got a bunch of shit on my ass. How did I get all of this shit on my ass? Shit on my ass. Oh, how did I get all of this shit on my ass? I saw you under a willow tree. You were reading a book about slavery. I sat down in the grass and asked you, can you see if I have some shit on my ass?
And he's like, this is what I'm famous for, seriously. People love singing about poop. But anyway, he was like just absolutely jamming, so talented. I was like, it was so good. It was so good. So that was just hands down the best concert I've ever been to. Vampire Weekend.
Well, I want to talk a little bit about, so this isn't the best concert that I've ever been to. I'll talk about that afterwards, but we talked about Frank Ocean a little bit.
Yeah.
No, Frank Turner.
Frank Turner.
Ocean.
Okay, I was like, you've seen Frank Ocean? You fucking kidding me?
No.
I haven't seen him.
I had a brain fart there for a second. Frank Turner. We saw him at the Commodore. That was the Cuckoo Kangaroos or whatever. Do you remember a lot from that show?
For the Frank Turner show?
Yeah, because that was a long time ago.
Yeah, I remember a good chunk of it. Like, I remember there was one part where he got everybody to like sit down almost.
That's the part that I was going to talk about.
Yeah.
It was the coolest thing I've ever seen and been a part of. I don't even remember what the song was, but it got to this really slow and mellow part, and he gets the entire crowd, and the entire crowd cooperated and participated.
Yeah.
Which that makes the entire thing.
Exactly.
Gets everybody to go down, like almost like you're sitting cross-legged. Everyone's
Yeah.
kind of like on one knee. So you have Frank Turner on this stage above everybody already, and then everybody is down to their knees that much lower. And it was the weirdest thing to look at.
Yeah.
And then the song builds and builds and builds until it gets to this point where everybody jumps up at the same time.
Well, like, yeah, you're like slowly building up with the song.
Yeah.
It's just like, well, that's
And it was just like, I remember having this moment, or it was more so afterwards, where, because in the moment you're just reacting, you're just going along with everything, and it's so cool. But afterwards, I remember walking back to where my car was parked and just thinking about that and just thinking, what the hell was that? That was so cool.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like that at any show that I've ever been to in my life. And I think it's kind of a weird thing to have to picture, but I don't think that many people in general listening to this would be like, yeah, that happened at this show that I've seen. Like, it doesn't seem like a common thing.
The other like thing I can compare it to is like a super heavy metal band, just like telling this side of the room, go over there, this side of the room, and then just run at each other. Those ones are cool, but yeah, something like that. No, it's been pretty interesting. Did you also remember the guy who like almost wanted to fight me?
No.
So Frank Turner was previously in a punk band.
Okay.
Right? And a lot, especially from Tape Deck Heart, could very well much be punk songs. Like you change out some of the acoustic guitars and like they're jumping songs.
Yeah.
Right? And when you are a past punker and you create music that makes people jump up and down, I like mosh pits.
Of course.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's mosh pits are cool, but I wasn't trying to start a mosh pit at that place, but I was pretty jumpy.
Of course.
And then some dude got super butthurt. He just like looked around and gave me this, like almost shoved me back. And I was like, fuck you, buddy. It's a concert. Be happy. Jump around. Enjoy the music.
Yeah. Did anything come of it? I don't remember this at all.
He just gave me a dirty look and gave me a
loser.
little push. I was like, listen, get the fuck to the back of the stage. If you're just going to sit here, like, and to be fair, that's what I do now at concerts. I just, yes. I look like I'm having a terrible time. I'm just sitting here, just stone faced, but internally, this is the best concert I've ever been to.
Just having the time, just enjoying it from
exactly.
not afar.
yeah, exactly. But yeah.
Okay, so the last one that I'll talk about, and this one I mentioned before, the Coldplay show. This, for me, was the best show I've ever seen because of the entire experience of it.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many Coldplay fans there are. Honestly, like in present day, I don't really listen to their stuff anymore.
Yeah.
This was in there. I don't even remember what the album was called. It had Feels Like Heaven, I think the single was on it, and they had another song called Charlie Brown, Milo Exilo.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Album.
That was good. That's a good album.
Yeah, good album. So it was me and my friend Dylan that got tickets, and they were like nosebleed seats up in we were basically looking directly at the stage from the opposite 300 level at Rogers Arena.
Okay.
So as far away as you could get, as high up as you could get.
Yeah.
And so we're sitting there in the stands, and by the way, City and Color was opening for them.
Sweet.
Yeah, and I don't remember who the other band that was opening, but regardless, we're seeing City and Color in Coldplay. Like that's a big show.
Yeah.
We're sitting there, and we went to the merch table before. We each get Coldplay shirts, so we're sitting there waiting for the show. And some guy comes walking up, and he's like looking around for people, and he just comes up to us. And he's like, "Hey, I'm like a roadie with Coldplay. We're looking for people to upgrade their seats. Do you guys want to come sit on the floor?" And we're like, "Yeah." And like honestly, at the time, I remember kind of thinking like, "Is this a joke? Like, is this guy about to scam me out of my seats?"
Right.
But we follow him anyways. Turns out we're now sitting third row on the floor. Like I'm a stone's throw distance from Dallas Green when he's on the stage.
Crazy.
You know what I mean? And the cool thing, I'm sure people have, I don't know, maybe you've seen this before, at highlights of Coldplay shows or whatever, they would hand out to everybody entering the building these wristbands. And everybody got a different colored one, but they literally just look like this like orange wristband with this kind of blue square.
The color thing, right?
Yeah. And then they had underneath of them, I guess, these lights that that Coldplay had synced up to their music at certain times. So we're waiting for Dallas Green and City and Color have already played, and we're now waiting for Coldplay to come out. And then all of a sudden, this entire Rogers Arena full of these like flickering lights on people's wrists start glowing and flickering and all these different colors, and it looks so cool. And as the show progressed and goes on, they have different light sequences that are going on. So you're all of a sudden they're all flashing, or all of a sudden there's this kind of gradient going throughout the crowd of like it's blue over here and then it fades to orange over here, and everybody has one on their wrist, and it was the craziest thing to see. It was one of those like almost overwhelming feelings of like, what am I looking at?
They do their concerts good. Me and Ben went to one of their shows. I think it must have been in 2018 or something. Same thing.
So cool.
Like, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So for me and my friend Dylan, like us being there, expecting to just, you know, sit back, kind of kick back and watch the show from afar and just kind of enjoy the music, and, you know, not a bad view, just really far away, to now suddenly being like, we're almost feeling Dallas Green sweat on us. You know what I mean? Like, what a crazy experience for some guy that works for them to just be like, hey, do you guys want to move? You guys want to upgrade?
No kidding.
Like, yeah, sure.
That's cool.
I hadn't even graduated high school at the time. I was like, this is the coolest thing that's ever happened to me in my entire life.
Doubt. Yeah, Sitting Color was the first concert we saw like post-pandemic.
Yeah. Oh, right on.
Come back and do it, so it was cool. One other concert I want to mention, which was one that I didn't go to, but I worked at.
Okay.
So I did a stint of security in the summer times.
That's right.
And one of the concerts I worked at was Metallica.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What was that like?
So it was a part where I was security for part of the stage that like comes out, basically.
Okay.
So there's like a little like peninsula that's out there.
Okay.
And I was in the part that was basically standing in front of an area where somebody could jump up.
Okay.
So they hop over the fence because there's a light thing that's existing there. So like theoretically they could potentially hop the fence, jump on this thing and jump on stage.
Yeah.
And my job was don't let people jump on stage.
Oh, that's a lot of pressure.
I mean, it was fine, but the cool thing is that I got a specific security shirt, Metallica security shirt.
No way.
Yeah. So because it was through a security company, right? And all the other guys were in their gear there, but because it was like, I think they were filming it or something. So because like they want that brand, right? They gave the guys who were up there the Metallica security shirts. So, I'd never been covered in so much more sweat at the end of it.
No way.
From my sweat, because like obviously it's a metal concert, so people are gonna mosh, and people are gonna crowd surf. So the idea is when somebody's crowd surfing like near the end, you just take them down. They walk. They didn't get kicked out or anything like some concerts where they walk them out. But it's just like you go through this path that goes to the back of the floor. Then you just make your way up. I think I pulled a guy like 4 times. Same guy. It's so awesome. But at the end, they're like, okay, just throw the shirts back in the thing, and it's like whatever. And I was like, so we gotta give them back. He's like. And the like security boss guy is like, yeah, they're just gonna take him and, you know, watch him do whatever, and then they'll probably never see him again. And I'm like, okay, so that's so I still have the
you do. That's what I was gonna ask.
Yeah, it's the Metallica logo here, and then the back security.
Yeah.
The only shitty thing is, well, it's fine because I just wear it around the house. It's like a 2XL, so it's cool. But I really enjoyed that, and yeah, that was cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so as we're getting closer to wrapping things up here, I know, unfortunately for you, I don't know, you haven't been keeping notes, I assume, of the bands.
No,
because you've been coming up. I have. So, are you able to remember the bands that you named of the pop punks so that you can rank them, or is that completely gone from your brain?
It's pretty much gone from my brain, but I mean, just in terms of like funness. All Time Low is still probably the best. The number one. I would say it's like the ones where I remember having like the most fun. Yeah. Is definitely All Time Low for that.
I think I'll say, so I named 4. I said All Time Low, Neck Deep, A Day to Remember, and Sum 41. I think I'm gonna put, this is really tough. I think my number 1 spot I'm gonna give to Neck Deep. I think I'll probably give the next one to A Day to Remember.
Nice.
Then I'll go All Time Low number 3, and Sum 41, my first concert ever. I'll put them at number 4. Those are my top 4 pop punk concerts that I've been to.
Yeah, I can definitely give you first and last. First All Time Low, last Metro Station for sure. Everything else is in the middle. I think close second is going to be Motion City Soundtrack.
Yeah, of course.
Even though they're really more the emo style, but still a lot of fun. I can't remember if I've seen Fall Out Boy. Have you seen Fall Out Boy?
I've never seen Fall Out Boy.
I'm trying to remember if I have or not.
You know what's it's weird that you say that, of like having, you brought this up earlier about having a hard time remembering if you've seen or who you've seen or whatever. So I've seen Blink a few times.
Okay.
I was a few weeks ago or a month ago, whenever when we were talking about their live show that got announced, or their new tour and stuff. I felt like a crazy person trying to remember if I've seen Blink with Tom before. I have. I've come to the conclusion that I have.
Okay.
But trying to remember, like, I think I saw them in like 2009. I'm pretty sure.
Sure.
And I think they were here with Tom then. And then I also saw them in 2011 with My Chemical Romance. And then I saw them with you. I'm pretty sure that's the timeline.
Okay.
But I felt like a crazy person trying to recap, have I seen them with Tom or not?
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. Weird how it works that way.
I know, right? It is. But yeah, I think that's the majority of the concerts, and I've still been to a lot of concerts. Like I haven't even named like half.
I haven't even scratched the surface.
Right, which is crazy. But it's still one of my favorite things to do is just go to a concert.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Haven't been to one since the pandemic.
Seriously?
Since before the pandemic, yeah.
Damn.
Last one I saw was the Wonder Years in Chief State.
Dude.
It's the last show I've seen.
Go to a concert.
Yeah, I know. I'm dying.
Missing out.
Yeah.
One of the other bands I really love to see is Said the Whale. I'll always go see Said the Whale. They're probably one of my top bands that is like not pop punk, but they're just so good. Any other what was the last concert I've been to? See, this is tough. This is why you prepare. This is
where you're just ripping off.
This is where you prepare. Right. Literally, like I'm looking at my phone, just trying to pretend to, like, I look at my photos or something. But that's it.
Okay, so I guess this is probably a good place to wrap up, shall we?
Yeah. One more thing before we go. In terms of just promotion, shouting out other people and things like that. There's a band that actually DM'd us and reached out to us on Instagram. So that band name, these guys are called All Caps.
That's one word.
Yeah, All Caps, one word. And they reach out to us just saying, hey, like what you guys are doing. And, we're always about getting other people to listen to the genre and getting people involved in it and promoting, other artists who are kind of getting into this and creating their own music is something that's really important to us because we want more people to listen to it, get more bands exposed, get the exposure, right? Listen to, get in the know of some other different bands. So these guys are called All Caps, and they're really nice when they reach out to us. They have an EP out called My Fantasy, My Enemy, but they actually have a new one coming out on November 25th called Too Deep and Confine Me. So again, very much pop punk inspired genre. It's they're good. They're good. They sound they got the classic pop punk tune to it, just down. So.
When they messaged us, because they sent us a link to go listen to some of their stuff so when you're listening to this episode, their stuff will have already been released. This will be out on the 29th, I believe. Their stuff, like you said, comes out on the 25th. So they sent us a link to listen to some of their unreleased stuff. So I was listening to it on my walk back to my car, and yeah, we were talking about it off the air. It has that classic kind of the story so far ish kind of instrumental. The singer has a very low voice, which is kind of unique for pop punk. It's usually, traditionally kind of nasally.
Yeah, and like more higher pitch.
Yeah, and more higher pitch. That's not the case with the singer, and I don't mean that in a bad way whatsoever. It's just unique, I find. So yeah, like you said, their stuff comes out on the 25th of November, so it'll already be out by the time anybody's listening to this. What do we say? Too Deep and Confine Me. Those are the two singles that are coming out.
Now, just looking at the message here, I can't tell, but they might actually be from the Netherlands.
Yes, they are.
That's cool as hell.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So go check them out on Instagram. They're allcaps.band. I believe their band name in general is all caps with a period at the end. I'm pretty sure that's what I had to put in when I found them on Spotify. But yeah, go check them out on Spotify or wherever you listen to music and check out their newest release. Seem like some good folks.
And again, if you like this episode, please feel free to follow us on Instagram, on TikTok, join our Discord. And as well, if you are listening to this on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, we very much appreciate ratings. So if you like this show, give it a 5-star rating, tell your friends, leave a comment. Anything that you can do to help just helps us, and we very much appreciate anything and all the comments and all the ratings that we've gotten so far. So if you like the show, please rate it and let us know your thoughts. Again, anything is helpful, and it's awesome. So thank you all so much for listening. Enjoy the rest of your weeks, and we'll probably talk to you in 2 weeks. But if you want to talk to us sooner, hit us up on Discord, hit us up on the socials. We'll be there. Thanks, buddy. All right, everybody, take care. Stay safe. And see you soon.